Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our Let's Talk Arsenal series on a Friday at 5 o'clock. I haven't done this in so long. Apologies that the Friday shows have just not been happening recently with my job situation. It's been pretty tricky to do it because honestly absolutely shattered after a 9 to 5 shift and. There just hasn't been time. It's been the international break as well. There's been a lot been going on in the world of TGT, and I'm happy to jump on at this time to have a brief chat. It's not going to be the usual hour, but I'm going to try and go through as many of your questions and stuff as well, and we will do a bit of a Q&A. But obviously, the main reason is because of this thing, because we managed to pick up an award, the Bronze Awards for the Best Club Content Creator. At the Football Content Awards last night. I've got to talk about a few things. One of them being why my green screen isn't in line. There we go. And I mean, that's why they gave me the awards, clearly. But no, I can't start anywhere else other than saying a massive thank you to just everybody, really, that's voted, that's watched, that's been with us. I mean, I love hearing the stories about the listeners, and I love it when people DM me saying how long they've been listening for. I mean, tell me the year that you started listening to TGT, because I know there are people that have been here since like 2016, even 2015 when Craig started the channel. I love hearing the stories of people come to me saying that like they've been watching for so long, etc., etc., and it's great. And I think that it is hard to gauge, even when you have like a number associated next to a channel, like we've got 27,000 subscribers, it's really hard to kind of tangibly understand the size of that, because it is just a number at the end of the day. And I know it's amazing and I don't take it for granted, but when you start to see kind of the things that come from it, and when I look back over, say, the last year, specifically, I quit my job. I just thought, screw this. Like, I'll be very blunt about this, and I've been speaking to a few people today who really are considering leaving their own jobs. And I've just said, you just got to do it. If you hate where you're, not even necessarily hate, I did hate it, but if you genuinely aren't happy in the job that you're in, if you're not happy with what you're doing, if you think that you could be doing something that you would enjoy, quit and do it. There is no other advice. People DM me and say, have you got any tips for doing YouTube and this? The only thing, and it's really cliche, and I know a lot of people say this, but just do it. Just do. Chris Davis said, do one, Chris. Go sort your fantasy team out, mate. Trust my blooming colleagues to jump on. You know, if you're not following Chris at... Oh, I can't remember his at. That's a shame. I've written it out enough times. At C Davison _AFC? Go and check him out. I'm sure you follow him already, but he's actually a nice guy, believe it or not. But yeah, no, as I said, if you don't know what you're doing, quit your job. Just quit your job, and go find something that you enjoy doing. Because whether it's a YouTube, whether it's nothing to do with football, whether it's anything to do with anything else, whether it's whatever, it could be anything. Just yeah. I'm borrowing Nike's motto, King. Absolutely, just do it. What's the video? Is it Shia LaBeouf that does the video where he's like, just do it? That's all I can tell you. Is you just need to go out and change your life yourself, because no one's going to do it for you. I can tell you that. No one's going to give you something. It's very rare that ever happens. You've got to go make it happen. And yeah, the whole it's who you know, not what you know. That is big. I'm not going to lie but the last two jobs that I've had, this working with Football.London and Reach and working at 101 Great Goals, they wasn't about who I knew. I didn't know anyone at either website. I just emailed 101, asked for a job, and it's rare that happens, but they're very, very amazingly grateful to Benjamin Newman, who obviously offered that position, and then applied for the job at Football.London and got that. And it's just, that was evidence that it is not always about who you know. And you can get in off the back of your own merits, and you can get to where you want to get to through the things that you've done. And getting that award last night, just for the like just the bronze award, which there is the Arsenal Realist and City Extra who won the silver and gold awards in the category, who were doing amazing work. Just getting that was unbelievable. And just seeing kind of just a physical representation of the work that's gone in and the community that we've built here and the family that we've built at this channel, and that you guys just jump on so many times and just throw in your nice comments, throw in your feelings, throw in your opinions, everything, and you just keep backing it up and you keep on getting involved and you keep on watching the shows. You're mad. And I'm very thankful for all of you. But it's been a crazy 12 and a bit months. In fact, I think it's now officially just over 12 months since I quit my job, and it's just been the most ridiculous year of my life. With the pandemic as well that's happened, it's so strange how backwards it has been. I am reading your comments as I'm talking. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Much appreciate your kind words, mate. Appreciate it, fella. Thank you ever so much, guys, in the chat box. I'm not going to be able to read all these out, but thank you. And I tried to like as many tweets that you sent me last night on Twitter and on Instagram. I've been really neglecting the Instagram page, which I'm sorry about. I didn't realize that so many people actually interact with it. And I was looking at some of the posts and seeing the interactions that were going on with the posts, and I've been really neglecting of it. I need to be more active on Instagram, so I will try to do that. To not leave you guys. I love that Omar starts off the show by saying, I've been wondering where the hell these Friday Q&As have been. As I said, I just haven't been able to do them, I'm afraid. Anyway, there's a few things that I want to talk about, and this is still a Q&A. So if you have any questions about the evening, about what happened, about who was there and what we did, then feel free to throw in any questions. But first of all, Mike Feinberg is an absolute star, and he and obviously Gooners v Cancer. If you're not already aware of them, go find out more, go donate, go get involved. It's an amazing charity. Links in our description. The link to the charity has been in our description for goodness knows how long. I can't remember when we even put it in. It's been the link to go and donate that charity has always been in our video description. So please do go and donate if you haven't already. But Mike won the gold awards for the charitable organization and the charitable movement, and honestly, the look on his face, in fact, I can show you the look on his face. I won't show you the video because I sent Mike the video and it's all his to use how he wants, but I will show you the look on Mike's face when he wins, because it is absolutely priceless. Absolutely priceless. I'm just scrolling along. Hold on. It's just a look of pure disbelief. Let me turn this around so hopefully you should be able to see this. Oh, the green screen. Let me turn the green screen off because for some reason, I don't know why this isn't working. It's not going to work with the green screen, annoyingly. Can I turn? I can't turn off the green screen. That's annoying. But you could hopefully see kind of what I'm talking about. He was just absolutely over the moon. He was with that awards. He did an amazing speech, and you know what? One of the first things that he said in his speech, which you'll see when he posts the video eventually, when he cuts it down to 2 minutes and 20 seconds, was that he talked about David Brooks, and of course, David Brooks has had a recent diagnosis, and the fact that was one of the first things that came up when he thought to accept that award just shows absolutely what he's about. And if you haven't gone and subscribed to the Gooners pods, then make sure you do, because they're doing some amazing work. Owen and Andy and Jared, of course, one of our own members who gets involved very heavily over there. Go and subscribe, and go and give them the support, and go and tell Magic Mike how much of an absolute legend he is. He was brilliant all night. I'll tell you what, I was absolutely shattered. And the thing is about Mike is because he's come over from the US, his body clock is running at a completely different time. We got back from the event. He's staying at Highbury in the old Highbury Stadium that's now been converted into flats. And so I was staying over there last night. Got back from the event about 2:30. I must have got 2 hours sleep, we got back and we were still hungry because, I mean, when you go to a fancy hotel, the portion sizes are ridiculously small. So you left and you were ridiculously hungry still. So we ordered food from what I'm describing now as B-Tech Roosters. Now, anyone who goes to the Arsenal and who goes to the 12 Pins specifically will know that the best chicken shop in London is next to the 12 Pins, a place called Roosters. If you haven't been there for your food, you need to, because it's the best chicken shop ever. And it wasn't open, but there was another place called something Roosters, and so we've called that now the B-Tech Roosters. But it was still very good. But it didn't. The blooming delivery didn't come for a good solid hour. It took a solid hour, and we got in at just before 2, so we didn't get the food till near 3. And by that time, I was so tired. I think I had one bite of my wrap, and then I was like, I need to go to bed. And I kicked him out of his own living room because I needed to sleep. And I think I got up I set my alarm for 6, ended up waking up at 5:30, and then leaving Highbury at 5:45 in the morning. So I had about 2 hours sleep, got the train back to my house, and then started a 9 to 5 shift today with Football London. So it's been a crazy kind of 48 hours, barely any sleep, but it was an amazing evening. Now, the next person to shout out is Curtis Shaw, because Curtis Shaw is, and I'm sure you're all aware of his channel, whether you agree with his opinions or not. It's not about that. At the end of the day, they're opinions. But Curtis has started up a new channel really recently, I think just over a year ago. He smashed it, getting an amazing amount of subscribers, amazing amount of content and work and hard work goes into putting out as much content as he does. And he won the Silver Award in best in video, I think. And then he won the Gold Award for best new content creator. And I tell you what, he deserves it because he's done fantastically well. So there you go. And I had a good chat with him. I remember we talked about this the other day because Curtis talked about one of my articles on his show. And it's just something that's ingrained in my brain is when people react to headlines without reading articles. And obviously, when you're seeing just them pop up on timelines, I mentioned it. And he said to me that a few people had said to him that I was apparently going in on him on my channel. And I don't know who watched this show and thought I was going in on Curtis and then felt that it was appropriate to go over to his channel and say that I'd been saying stuff, which was completely inaccurate. He then said he watched back the show and thought it was fine. So he didn't even know what that person was talking about. But we had a really good chat. And he's really, genuinely, really nice guy, is Curtis. That's the first time I've met him, and couldn't say a bad word about the guy. He was humble in winning his awards. He started off his winning speech with Tottenham get battered, which is the perfect way to start any kind of winning speech in that kind of ilk. So that was great. Shout out to, of course, AFTV, who won. What was the one they won? Best. Was it best content creator? I can't remember the category, but they were up for so many. But they won one of them, and obviously our boy judges went up and accepted the award along with Robbie and Co. and Turkish. Had a really good conversation with Turkish. Met Turkish for the first time. Again, really nice, genuine guy. Had a really good conversation with Troops last night as well. And because I haven't seen Troops in person for a long time, because he's obviously been off in the US. And it was just really nice to speak to everyone. And you realize, I think what people forget is that there's people behind the accounts, behind the entertainment that you see on YouTube channels. And when you speak to these people in real life, and as you do with anyone, they're completely different. In the sense that you can just have a genuine chat. It's not necessarily about football. It's just person to person having a conversation, and you'd be able to talk about anything other than football, and that's underrated at times. So we had a really good chat with so many people that were there. Also a massive congratulations to the Arsenal Vision boys, Elliot and Clive. We were sitting on their table number 6 is where we were at. And I was sitting next to Elliot for most of the evening. He is, again, one of the nicest guys. You know how nice Clive is. Clive comes on the channel all the time. We've had Elliot on the channel as well. But speaking to Elliot, Elliot realised how tired I was so early, not even early on in the evening, but he was the one basically was dragging Mike out of the hotel saying, you need to take Tom home because he is going to crash. And I really was close to burning out. I was like, the eyes were wavering because I was getting so tired at times. But yeah, Elliot and Clive, amazing. Clive's young one as well, really nice lad too. And of course, Judges and Dan Potts sat on our table as well. And it was just a fantastic evening, and I can't really say a bad thing about. I can't say a bad thing about anyone. A massive thank you to Terry from the Football Terrace, who hosted the event along with. I always forget his name from Soccer AM. What's his? Oh, why has it got out of my head? Well, someone will tell me in the chat box, but it's gone completely out of my Rocket. Thank you, from Soccer AM, fantastic host of the evening. The only thing that did annoy me was how much talking there was through all of the awards. Like, you could barely hear it at times and I think people were watching on the live stream. People were all watching on the live stream. They could barely hear anything because everyone was talking. And the amount of times that Mike grabbed his glass and put his spoon up like he was going to do some sort of speech to try and quiet people down. But I mean, when you're in a room of 500 odd people, you're not going to be able to do that. That was the only downer on the evening, was that I could barely hear anything that was being said by Terry and Rocket. But it was. Other than that, it was amazing. So, yeah. Slough Town Vlogs, congratulations for winning Best In, or you was in the Best In non-league. Where did you place? Let me know where you finished, mate. And, yeah, I met so many Bolton defender, Wheater. He's an absolute laugh. Really, really funny guy. James from AFTV, who does a lot of the tactical stuff. Never's really spoken to James before. Really, really nice guy. Can't say a bad word about him. We ran into Thogden as well. Quite a funny guy too. I met so many people last night. It was an amazing event. I can't really think of anything else to talk about. I think that is pretty much it. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. So if you do have any questions, throw them into the chat box. We will go through some of your comments. Thanks, Canoe. Really appreciate it. Yes, Judges. The amount of time people went up to Lee and was like, he's done it again. We walked outside the hotel, and literally, as soon as he walked out, a guy that looked like Hector Bellerin in one of his fashion shoots, genuinely long hair, the moustache, was spitting image of Hector Bellerin, just grabs Lee around the shoulders. He's like, he's done it again. And Mike is laughing his head off at this point because you know what he's like. Hilarious. We had about 7 people steal cabs from us outside the hotel. We couldn't struggle to get a cab back to the place in the end. Ended up getting picked up by a really nice cab driver. Had a really good conversation talking about kind of the knowledge it takes to be a cab driver. One of those classic conversations where Judges has had a few drinks and his conversation is flowing as it does. And yeah, other than that, it was just a really good evening. I didn't get an award, sadly, but it was a great evening, says Slough Town Vlogs. Thogden and Thogdad screamed when my name was called. They're a good group of guys, they are, that's for sure. PAPP says, some you met at the awards and changed your mind about what you're seeing online, Twitter, Insta, thought about them. I mean, I know people. I know, like, Troops. I've known Troops before he was big on AFTV. I didn't know Turkish. I didn't know Curtis. But I've obviously spoken to them. And we talk about AFTV a lot on the channel because it comes up in the more social conversations we have. And I've always kind of maintained that my issue, and I was speaking to Turkish about this last night, my issue with AFTV was it always came down to a lack of accreditation for something that I wrote. And then that's turned around and that's changed. And they've credited everything ever since. So I've never had an issue in that sense. It's just been some of the controversies. But besides that, I've just said to people, if you don't like it, don't watch it. You don't have to spend your life. Why do you care? Why do people care so much to just go in on it? Just don't watch it if you don't like it. But no, I don't think, and seeing anyone change my mind about people at all, because I never had a bad opinion of the people that I spoke to. Turkish, lovely guy. Curtis, lovely guy. Troops is, when you speak to him in person, a lovely guy. I just can't say a bad word about them in person because they're just nice, really nice lads to chat to. So there you go. Thanks, Matt. Really appreciate. Yes, there were FPL awards. There were lots of FPL accounts. I think Scout won one of them. I can't remember off the top of my head who the other ones were, but I know that Scout definitely won one. Young Palace says all the lads at AFTV are proper fans and a good bunch of lads. Couldn't put it better myself, to be honest, on that evening. What's leaving with the red? Alpha knows what he's talking about. Matthew, in some countries, who you know is very important. Not everything everywhere is the same. I work for myself doing what I like, but bills ain't easy. I was talking about that conversation we had earlier on. Yeah, it is. And even in the UK, having who you know is still a very key and important part of getting jobs. All I would say is that you can still do it. You can still get somewhere. You can still get a job that you are happy in without necessarily having to know people. So that, I mean, there you go. It's possible, is what it is. Black Box, yes, FPL Black Box, FPL Wire, they won some awards as well. So there you go. So Hill knows his FPL winners, that's for sure. Greg, some people love drama. I don't get it personally. I do. I love drama. I'm not going to lie. That's why I watch Made in Chelsea, and that's where half of these people watching go, oh, I'm not watching this guy anymore. Shamelessly, I like it. I like the drama. Watch Love Island, watch it all. Married at First Sight. You can't get enough of it. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's human nature. We love drama. It is what it is. And as long as no one's getting hurt and as long as no one's being abused, I've got nothing against a little bit of fun and a little bit of drama. But as soon as it crosses that line, then you can have your words about it. But until then, you've got to judge it separately. I think I'm just looking. Emmanuel says, congrats, Tom. Who won first and second place? City Extra and the Arsenal Realist. Again, a big congratulations to him, who was there also last night, won the Silver Award. And the fact that two Arsenal accounts won third and second place in the awards. For a lot of people talk about how like there was a lot of Arsenal dominated things, and people talk about the fact that it's dominated like that because Arsenal have a big social following, so they got a lot of votes. Well, the way that it's done is that it's 50% votes from people online, and then it's 50% done through judges, and there's loads of judges that help judge the competition. And so the fact that two Arsenal accounts in my category got onto the podium goes to show that it's about not only the support that both myself, the Arsenal Realists, have grown on our separate platforms, but it is also about clearly the enjoyment that people get from it as well. And it's not just about the amount of people that follow and subscribe to you. Because I tell you what, there were some people that won awards that aren't necessarily massively followed that won things. I mean, one of the big highlights of the evening was seeing Ben Foster win his award for Best Premier League Footballer, and he left a video message, which was very funny. But yeah, I think I liked that it was very much not really a popularity contest for me. It didn't come across to me in that way. I mean, if you think about it, Mike with the Gooners v Cancer, Mike didn't have a Scooby that he was going to win. Mike didn't think he had a hope in hell of winning that award whatsoever, because some of the charities he was up against are massive. And he won it because there was an appreciation for the work and the drive and the desire that went into putting forward that movement, for putting out the videos, for doing the prizes, for reaching out to ex-players and journalists to get on board and support that cause. And so that for me was great. PFPP says, did any of the Arsenal Ladies podcasters win? Tim Stillman won the Silver Award. He just missed out on the gold. For the I think it's the best coverage of women's football. So again, congratulations to him on getting silver. I would have picked him for gold, but I am obviously very, very biased. So there you go. Omar says, a lot of people, particularly on Twitter, take offense to everything today. I was just laughing at how pressed people are about White's interview. Yeah, honestly, that I've seen how I don't get the criticism for White after that interview. I mean, if you're finding something to criticize White about that interview, why do you care? Why do you care so much about what White has to? So what if White didn't watch football if he's a kid? So what if he wants to take time away from football when he's not playing or training or having to get coaching or doing stuff behind the scenes from a social level? So what? So what if he doesn't? He's not an Arsenal fan, and people are going, "Oh, he doesn't really know a lot about Vieira." He's not an Arsenal fan. He's not you. He's not me. You can't treat, but you can't paint people with the same brush. It's ridiculous. I can't believe there are people moaning about Ben White's comments. Ridiculous. I mean, I can believe it. I can absolutely believe that people are moaning about it. But honestly, ridiculous. Cyrus says, what I like about your channel is that your response is measured, still passionate, but on point. I love AFTV2, and as you say, you know what you're going to get. Well done, mate. Thanks. Really appreciate it. Deepak says, I've been watching this channel since Craig started it. That's incredible, Deepak. The fact that Craig, I think, was 2015. And Craig sent a very nice message as well, congratulating me afterwards as well. Class is permanent always, and Danny as well. I can't not do this show without mentioning Craig and Danny. Danny, first of all, for giving me an opportunity on ABW. Without him, there's nothing. And secondly, Craig. Without Craig handing over the channel when he wanted to stop TGT and saying, "Look, mate, I don't want the channel to die. Go for golds," and you can't argue that I haven't. that's for sure. And I've done everything I can to make the channel a success, and I hope that you think that it is. And clearly, from this awards, it's gone to somewhere good. So really appreciate it. Brotherhood says, Tom, I've always wondered how tall you are. I'm going to go with 5'10". Now, if you saw a picture that Mike uploaded yesterday, you'll know that 5'10" is quite far off the mark. I'm actually 6'3", and if you want evidence of that, all you need to do is look at the picture of me, Lee, Dan, Potsy, and Mike in the Marvel Halls last night of Highbury, because there's any evidence that you needed that I am in fact not sure. I don't know why people think I'm short. I'm not. I am fairly tall. I'm definitely above average height at 6'3". So I don't know why people have this assumption that I'm below 6 foot. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my big head. I have a very big head. I'm very well aware of this fact. But yeah, no, 6'3". So there you go. How have you managed to live on 2 hours sleep? I don't even know. I'm not even tired now. I don't even feel that tired now, and I'm gonna have a nice evening tonight. So gonna keep going, and I'm doing 9 to 5 again tomorrow. So no weekend for me until Sunday, unfortunately for me. But certainly, it's I just end up doing. I'm quite a big morning person. So as soon as I'm awake, I'm kind of awake. I can't sleep in the day. It doesn't happen. So just stay awake as long as possible, really. Prove it and stand up. How is that going to help, Matt? How is that going to help whatsoever? I'd stand up and you'd see my midriff, which I don't think you really want to see in front of a green screen, to be honest. Pete says, is there a pic with you next to Elliot? I don't. There must be somewhere. There will. I'm sure we had a picture at some point together. Of which you can see how much taller I am than Elliot. So yeah, somewhere. There you go. We need to get you in our back three, says Brotherhood. Yeah, possibly so. Why would you ever think I'm 5'2"? Why? Why? Well, I don't know what you can tell from just seeing this part of me every day at 8 a.m. that would tell you that I'm going to be 5'2". No ideas. Gustavo says, congrats, Tom. Are we expecting any new videos coming up? Yes. One of the good things that was about last night, as anyone will know when they go to events like this, is the power of networking. I'm looking forward to, obviously, we've been doing the Let's Talk Arsenal Fans series, in which so far we've spoken to judges, Kev Campbell, James Benge, and Charles Watts. If you haven't watched any of those, please make sure you go and watch those interviews. They're really insightful. They go into their backgrounds, their histories. I want to get Curtis on and have a chat with him and Turkish, obviously Elliot and Clive from the Arsenal Vision. The plans are to keep going with that series and keep getting the backgrounds and histories of all the people that you see on a regular basis. Shaheen and Lev from the Arsenal Lounge, I'm going to get those two on to talk about them starting the channel. I'm going to get them on at the same time because you can't. It's like Bill and Ben, the flower pot men. Like you can't have one without the other. So Shaheen and Lev will definitely be getting you two on to do one of our Let's Talk Arsenal fan shows. Absolutely. Lewis, much love, Tom, and congrats on the award. Finding out you're over 6 foot has honestly blown my mind. Why is it so surprising? Someone please tell me what it is about you seeing me on this screen that you think I'm small. I don't get it. Where has this come from? Tom, what's your ultimate goal in terms of football journalism? Let us know so that we can do everything we can to help you get there. Mate, that's such a nice comment. No, my ultimate goal was always to make football my job. And I've achieved that. I've achieved that. I just want to go as far as I can. I want to get as good as I can. And that only comes through feedback. So the only way that you guys can ever help me with that is just by continuing to provide feedback. I can take criticism. I've got thick skin as long as it's constructive. But I know I don't have to worry about that with you guys. Like if you think something's wrong, you need to tell me, and I will change it. I will improve and do whatever I can. That's at the end of the day. If you look at me hosting a show, 6 years ago on the channel compared to now, it's night and day, because it's practice and it's what it's ultimately what has led to where we are now. So the end goal is just to continue improving, getting better at writing, getting better at speaking, getting better at doing interviews. I love interview. I love writing, but interviewing is really a genuine passion. I love speaking to people. I love finding out about people. I love listening to podcasts of people interviewing. I've really got into listening to James O'Brien's podcast of just him interviewing people. I love his style of interviewing as well over on LBC. His style of interviewing is really, really clever and good. I'm just in Schrodinger's cat flat. You're too tall. I'm unsubscribing. So there you go. I'm sorry. I really don't get it. 3 inches taller than I would have guessed, says Greg. I don't know why. Why? I don't know what this. I really, it's so strange. Manu says your success of this channel was always bound to happen. Your level of respect, dignity, and humility combined. This is so patronising, but thank you, man. Thank you, Manu. We're staying when it was always going to pay off. No agenda whatsoever. Thank you, mate. I think people might disagree about the agenda. In fact, I think I might disagree with you, because I think there's and this is the whole thing about self-criticism and self-analysis. I was 100% so Arteta in last season, and I think there definitely was an underlying agenda with that. And I don't know why. I think I was so desperate for him to succeed that it probably blinded me at times to wanting him to succeed to how bad it was getting. And I think when you look at what he was doing at that time and how bad we were, to back him blindly was very naive. Now it's different. I think we can be a lot more objective, and when you admit you've been wrong about something, it allows you to be more objective. So there you go. Jake says, "What? This can't be true. They really do give anyone awards these days." Jakey boy, cheeky. Iceman says, "Tom, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm sure you will get multiple awards next time. Honestly, one of my favorite channels. Thanks, Iceman. Really appreciate it. Look, it's only going to get harder and harder to get awards. That's one of the reasons why I'm so proud of. And the thing is, people comment and say, why do you always say we? Why do you say us? You're the only one who runs the channel," which isn't entirely true, because I have a great team of regular podcasters like Mike, like Drew, like John, like Owen, like judges, like Ola, like trying to think of everyone now. I'm going to forget someone. Wayne and Tom and French and Raf. Have I forgotten anyone? I'm going to feel so bad. Andy, of course, too, from the Gooners pod as well. Surely I'm not forgetting someone. But we've got lots of regular guests that aren't, part of that regular team, but loads that have come on. You've got Sophie, you've got Amanda, you've got Kev Campbell, you've got who else comes on all the time? Arsblog, Elliot, and Clive. Like, there's so many people. I won't be able to name everybody because it's impossible, because we've had so many guests on. But yeah, genuinely, like I say we because TGT is a community at the end of the day. Abby says, "I lost my membership, Tom. Nothing to do with you being the in the big leagues." Thanks, Abby. I love that people are welcoming you back. I know that you've been continuing to be a member. Really appreciate the support, Abby, as always. And yeah, a massive shout out to the members. I was messaging in the Discord server last night. Honestly, I'd never thought that we'd get hundreds of members. Like, it's ridiculous that you guys would want to just continue to support and join the community and get into the Discord server and chat about Arsenal 24/7. It's great. It's wonderful that we've built this community. On Friday, I will be at one of the two pubs. We're not 100% sure where we're going. It'll either be the Tolly or the 12 pins ahead of the Aston Villa game, and I'm buzzing to meet some of our members. I'm meeting Owen for the first time. That's going to be great. I'm going to meet Ed, Easy Isle, Ed, and I'm going to meet who else? Dan is coming along as well. There's so many people that I'm going to get to meet for the first time. So if you go into the game and you fancy a drink beforehand and you want to meet a lot of people in real life, that's where we're going to be. That's what we're going to be doing. I'll let you know the day before on the channel with the 8 a.m. show, but it's going to be good. It's going to be great fun. So I'm really looking forward to it. Omar, I know you're a long-term listener. And that's one thing I also think, and I know that, Omar, you'll be able to attest to this, is even though we have members on the channel, I know that you guys are aware of the fact that we don't deviate. I don't favorite members. I don't necessarily read out loads more member questions. I think naturally you do because they have a symbol next to their name in the chat box. So I think you just get drawn to that. But I read out everyone's comments. I read out everyone's questions. I don't prioritize anywhere near as much as what you'd expect maybe someone to if they had a membership scheme. We just treat you all equally. And if you've got a question, if you've got a comment, you've got a thought, you've got a theory, we'll read it out. And yeah, it's one big community. That's the biggest, that's the proudest thing that I have about this channel is you guys in the chat box. So there you go. The real Yanis has actually been a member for much longer than 15 months. I don't know why it resets. Sometimes it just doesn't click over. So there you go. Franklin Goodwin says, yeah, we know you were Arteta in. You were getting called a fraud on Hugh Izzy's watch-alongs. I've got to give Hugh a massive shout-out as well. Hugh obviously has given me a lot going on his watch-alongs. It was really fun. Gutted I can't do it, and I couldn't carry on doing it because obviously with the new job, and he's obviously doing a lot in studio now as well, and the commitment to travel up to London, I just couldn't do that. It would, money-wise and time-wise, it didn't work, and so he's obviously doing some great stuff still. If you haven't listened to Hugh's podcast, For the People, it's great. I mean, Tracks Anton is just different level funny. CJ's great. And I've never met CJ or Ironic. I've spoken to Tracks plenty of times, but they're a great group of lads. So do go listen to his podcast because it's a really, really good listen. It's not about football either. It's just about music. It's about life. It's about hot topics, film, whatever. They answer situationships, issues. It's really entertaining. So if you're not already listening to it, go listen to it. And a massive thank you to Hugh because he's obviously been very welcoming to me. And to be fair, Hugh, I know that people have their views on TalkSport, and that's fair because I have my views on some of the things that come through on TalkSport. I'm very critical of some of the things. But when Hugh had his own show on TalkSport, he invited me on, had my first radio appearance on there, and then we became a regular on that World Cup mission to Moscow with Hugh over on TalkSport 2 for a few weeks leading up to 2018 World Cup, and that was a big thing. So I'm very, very thankful to him and Joe Aldridge as well, who was the producer there. So again, just more people to consider and thank whilst during this time. It's crazy how many more people there are. Manu, patronizing is when I'm reading out a comment that's really nice. Patronizing's like, how do you define it? There's two ways. You can either look at patronizing as a negative thing, which is not the context I meant it in, or you can look at it as a positive thing where you're just like, it's awkward reading out a really nice comment. That's probably the best way for me to say it. It's when it's a little bit awkward for me to read it out. I think I'm going to have to wrap things up because I have got evening plans and yeah, I'm going to have to go and do that. So thank you again. For everybody. So it's not Manu, don't worry, I didn't take it in a bad way. It's you can look at it in two ways. I look at it as like it's awkward reading out a really nice comment. That's the patronizing side of things, but don't worry, it's not a bad thing in my mind. So there you go. Yeah, thank you. That's all I can say is a massive thank you to everyone that tunes in, everyone who watches the show. Even if you never ever leave a comment, if you've never ever left a comment in the comment boxes, in the comment sections, in the live chats, and yet you tune in, maybe you don't know how, and you've wanted to know how, I can't help you other than just send me a DM on Twitter or a DM on Instagram, and I'll try and help you work out how you can get involved with the chat and in the comment sections. But even if you don't want to, and you're listening, I appreciate you. And thank you ever so much for tuning in. Members, thank you so much for your continued support. Subscribers, you're absolutely awesome. And new listeners, maybe this is your first time listening to this channel, which is a weird show to tune in for the first time. But if it is, welcome. You've stumbled across an amazing group of people, not me, everyone in that chat box that you were just entertaining yourselves with, they're awesome. So don't go anywhere, because we do a show pretty much every single day at 8 a.m. British Standard Time, updating you. And I'll be doing one tomorrow morning and Sunday and Monday and so on. So there's plenty to talk about in the coming days as Arsenal finally get back to football. This international break's gone on for so long. It's gone on longer than my outros. That's how long this international break has been. It's longer than it takes for me to close a show, as I know that Omar has a go at me for waffling at the end of my shows. So I will wrap this up swiftly. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you if you voted to help us get this. It's amazing. I'm so proud of everybody that's involved. We achieved this, not me. It is a group achievement, absolutely. And thank you ever so much for tuning in. If you've only just tuned in, go back and listen from the start. It's me rambling for an hour, for 40 minutes or so, about how thankful I am for you guys. So there you go. I will see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Have a fantastic Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy whatever you're doing. And again, I'll see you very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.